Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're playing more Yooka-Laylee today. There's not much more to it. Just another day with a collectathon. Another day with a longer episode for a collectathon. I would hope. So I think we actually got everything here. I can't remember. I think we got everything here that we can get right now. So we need to move on to the next level anyway. Hello. Welcome, everybody. It's been a relatively light day. So take that as you will. And again, as a reminder, if I look up, it's because I'm looking at all the information for my stream. All right. I'm kind of curious, actually. Hang on. Am I good enough to pull this off? Because I can't remember if this is what you have to do or not. Clearly not. Okay. Not sure how he survived all that, but alright. Okay. Grab this again. I think you're supposed to take the fire up to break that. I can't... For the life of me, I can't remember. I was thinking of crowdfunding a new canteen. What do you think? What an odd thing to ask. Capital B. Capital B, more like capital bitch. Come on, can I? Is there something I can do up here? I don't actually think I'm supposed to be up here. Okay. Onward to 2, which I believe is the ice level. Ah! There's a Pagie in there. But I need a water fruit. Be-doop, be-doop, be-doop. Alright. The music in this game makes me want to play Banjo-Kazooie and Nintendo. Donkey Kong 64 so bad. Quick, Quack, the call is coming through. Oh, I'm not trying to do the voices this time either. I can't. Ahem. Greetings, sirs. I wasn't expecting your call. Allow me to update you on our progress. First, I can confirm that a small portion of our workforce has been unfairly terminated. But please, consider the upturn in all the wages we've saved. I promise, there's no reason to be concerned, Mr. Chairman of the board. I obtained the one book on schedule, and its escaped pages will soon be in our grasp. I assure you, gentlemen, the freakish duo have no idea what we're really up to. Once the book is full of pages, we'll be able to control them. And the entire world. Okay. Blast. The steel gets worse by the quarter minute. I'm not looking forward to them turning up in future games. That implies sequels. Dr. Quack, it's time to radicalize our outlook. We need to slow down the intruder's progress. Any ideas? Well, sir, I do have these really nasty quiz questions. An evil quiz? Perfect. That's why you get paid slightly above minimum wage, Quack. Get to it. Only slightly above minimum wage, huh? Oh, God. All right. Oh, quiz time. Okay. Welcome, welcome. I'm your host, Dr. Quack. Look, Laylee, this must be Capital B's big hench manager. If big was the requirement, this guy doesn't seem to fit the bill. I reckon he'd let us pass if we lobbed him a few breadcrumbs. Silence. I see you've been trespassing illegally inside one of my scientific book worlds, and now you'll pay the penalty with the terrifying Quackfire quiz. The what? You'll need to provide 10 correct answers in order to survive my awful question assault. Answer a question correctly, and I'll allow you to progress forward. But get one wrong, and you'll lose a life. Lose all 3 lives, and it's back to the start. They clearly blew the budget on proper boss battles. Now, step forward and prepare for trivial trouncing. Okay, here we go. Quills, legal property of Ivory Tower. How many do you have in... How many do I have in total? 173? That was the toughest question. Okay. The new boss, Capital B. What color is his official statue? Official? Official. It's gold. Meh. Even a daft-looking lizard is right once a day. Double curses. A super quick correct answer. That's a 2-pointer. So I get to move forward 2 spaces. Ivory Tower's hard-working employees. Which did you cruelly defeat first? Oh, I know this. It's just a corplet. Why did I make these multiple choice? I answered it fast enough. Okay. Trousers bogus moves. Which did you purchase first? Oh. No, I remember what it was. Sorry. My bad. What was our first transformation? Oh, a plant. Okay, that's fine. Lucky guess, surely. And I chose it fast enough. The Ivory Tower's hub. How many pages have you illegally stolen from it? 2? Nope. Oh. Have you been reading Yooka-Pedia, haven't you? Oh, okay, yeah. Last one. The hapless scientist, Dr. Puzz. Which brand of token does she seek? That's the molecule. Flaming foul, these are clearly too easy. Okay. Blast. The presentation slides for this quiz clearly pitched it as impossible. That defeat's definitely going to come up on my next performance review. No matter. I'll make sure the next quiz is so tough that even a player's guide won't help you. Until next time, dimwits. Yep. So, I got that one wrong because I wasn't thinking about it, but yeah, I probably still would have gotten it wrong, even if I had thought about it, so either way. It is fine. Okay. Okay. Ice. Where are we going with this? Ow. Ah, okay, Chaucer. Ah, my good pals. Back for more of my fantastic offers? No, you're blocking the route to the next world. Well, I reckon you'll be needing one of my top shelf moves to get beyond this cavernous gap. And for helping me expand my sails to travel stack tropics, it's free of charge. Well, if it's going for nothing, this next move will allow your purple friend here to glide through the sky with the hold of A. Simply leap into the air with A, then press and hold A a second time to glide. Okay. Okay, so we can actually do our glide now. Perfect. Super, come and find me in the archive later. I have something off the books to offer you. Okay, so... Okay, that would have helped us in the platforming earlier, but I was stubborn and wanted to do it my way. Oh, hi, Rextro. Sorry for smelling sticky floors. Snake tricked Rextro in a purchase. Okay. Can I... No, that didn't work. I figured that would have worked. Hmm. Huh. Okay. Well, we can't get in here because... Oh, okay. I got it. I got it. Ooh. Ooh. Is this the archives? Maybe? Ah, okay, it is. It's the library. The archive. Okay, cool. So where is Mr. Trouser? I shouldn't be able to do that. That's funny, though. Oh, okay. Okay, so I can't do anything in there. Oh, the entrance is right here. Okay. I believe... the letters spell P. That's hilarious. I have a very childish sense of humor, if we haven't figured that out already. Guess? Nope. Oh, I can't go that way. Okay. Hey, I got it. I don't know exactly what's around here, but okay. Wait, what's over here? That wasn't there before. Okay. I still don't know where Mr. Trouser is. Oh, maybe we have to get something from the level. Let's go check that out. Time to stop putting it off and head to the level. Okay. Up we go, please. Thank you. Over. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, I can't eat those yet. Ah. Okay, let's see if I can get up here. Ah! Aha, no! Oh, I can't even... Okay. Ow. Ah! Stop it. No, go away. Okay. Can I get up here? No. I just go. They can't stop me. Okay. You need 3 of us Pagies to unlock this world. Yes, I do. I think I can go ahead and upgrade this world, too. Because we did walk away with 15 when we left. Yeah, 5 Pagies. Okay, yeah, we can do it. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and expand it. If we've already got the ability to, we might as well. Right. Let's go. Nice try, little dudes. Neighbors asleep. Love that. Okay. Ice level. Always fun. Always fun. That's funny. Okay. Game. Expecting an extra continent. That's a play on Banjo-Kazooie. So there's a key that you can get, or it's either Banjo-Kazooie or Banjo-Tooie. I can't remember which one. But there was the option of the ice key, and it was a secret item that was supposed to be inaccessible. It was locked inside of a crystal or something, and you could only look at it. It didn't do anything. It had no purpose, but people thought it was supposed to be for like DLC or some kind of extra hidden content that you were supposed to be able to get later down the road. And like I said, it ended up not doing anything. I think it might have done something in the Xbox 360 edition. I think it like unlocked the like the cheat code area or something like that. I don't remember. I didn't play enough of Banjo-Kazooie. I want to play more of it, but I didn't play enough of it to do any in-depth research on that. Okay, can't get in there. Can't eat that. What do we have? 98? Okay, let's get over 100 before we go talk to Trousers. Okay. Just so we can see what we can buy. Because if they're all 30 again, then we can buy 3 upgrades. Welcome, lovely to see you. How do you rate the new office? Poor. You don't even have a roof over your head. Ah, yes. Trouser Co. apologizes for any inconvenience while we refurbish our premises. Before I showcase our latest stunning maneuvers, can I offer you a cup of tea, coffee, pirate movie disc? No thanks, Trouser. We're only interested in the moves today. Hold up, Yooka. What movies does he have? Okay, they're 40 each, but Slurp State, that's one of the ones I need. This next move is banned in 3 different modern game genres. Is it the quality assurance move? Of course not. Anyway, I've noticed my green friend's tongue isn't quite as spectacular as it should be. With this upgrade, your slurp will be seriously improved with the ability to absorb the properties of your food. Sounds pretty cool, Trouser. What kind of properties can I absorb? Fire, sticky honey, other bits. Have a look on the internet. There's probably a list on there. Lizard Leap. Yes. This next move is crucial if you're ever to beat Trouser's impressive athletics records. I don't think that would be much trouble. Blizzard Leap will allow you to perform an impressive high jump. Just hold down left trigger and press A to jump. Okay. That sounds useful. Thanks, Trouser. No sweat. Now I must dash. They're naming a street after me in honor of my service to Deals. Sure they are. Leaving already? Come back soon. I've got an important call coming up. Whee! Okay. Okay, so that's exactly what we needed for that. Alright, cool. So this way we don't take damage in this room, I believe. I wonder if there's any more torches inside. I don't like slip sliding. Up. Ow. Can't remember if he'll follow me down here or not. Oh, he will. No! I don't think I can... Oh, I can get up. Ow. Okay, I gotta be real careful with that. Gotta move quick. Gotta move quick. Gotta move quick. Oh, how am I gonna get this guy now? Okay, well, apparently I'm not getting that little guy right now. That author. Another one. Okay. We made it up here. Which is where we wanted to be. That thaws out that Pagie. Raise the temperature a few degrees. Let's get out of here, Yooka. We'll find all sorts of horrible critters in caves. Oh, hello, friend. Core, a blizzard's gone and... blown you with what? Oh, your hat away. Okay. was like, blowing your what? Excuse me? Go down. No. Maybe I can abuse this. Haha. Oh, okay. He's okay. He will go back up there. Good to know. Okay, there we go. Now we gotta go. Now we gotta go. Because I don't think that... I still think I take damage in here. And just to be safe, I'm not gonna risk that. Alright, grab the Pagie. There we go. You found a stack load of us Pagies. Capital B will be furious. Yeah, that's the hopes. Okay, well now I can get over here. There we go. Up. Okay. No. No. All right, cool. Found a power extender. Oh. Oh wait, it seems to have fled the hat that was on my head. Okay. On which one was it? It's middle, front, back. Middle, front, back, left, right, left, right. Got it. Okay. Grab the Pagie. I don't like that I can't cancel those. Okay. That one's stuck in the wall and I think it's funny. I feel like that's what that's supposed to do. Okay. Guess not. Don't like that noise. Ew. Ew. Okay. There's Dr. Puzz. Dr. Professor Captain Puzz. Hi, Puzz. How can I help you? All right, Fishhead, still in the science business? Oh, very much so. In fact, I've just made the final collaborations to the DN Ray, and it's ready for transformation-ing. With this latest modification, we'll be able to teach that creep Dr. Quack and his new boss a lesson. Just make sure you press the correct button. The last transformation wouldn't last long in this weather. Okay, for the next transformation, I'll need you to bring me this world's Molly Cool. But it seems like you haven't found it yet. Keep searching. Okay. Nope, I give up. I couldn't find it. I lurked. I lurked. I looked. I didn't see it. Oh, we're back here. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's you. Oh, thank goodness help has arrived. The nearby tribe of monsters is holding a rather valuable artifact hostage. You mean that smelly old pot? That's about as valuable as Yuka's old socks. That pot is antique, I'll have you know. Oi, what did you call me? Please help. The tribe are preparing for dinner inside their homes. You'll need to pound their roofs in if there's any chance of escape. Alright, Dr. Bones. We'll help. Unlike you, we've got the stomach for this adventure game. If I just keep going and don't stop, I don't have to worry about it. Bonk. I love watching them materialize out of nothing. Wow, you really smashed those houses. The tribe will never recover from this. I suppose they could igloo them back together. Please, take your reward. God. Okay. Alright, sir. Gosh, they'll never let me in the bridge club without my missing hat. Okay, I need to find hats for these guys. This is becoming a problem. Ow. Oh, I gotta go. If I move fast enough, I don't have to think about it. Bonk. Ah, I missed. Bonk. There we go. It pushed me off. Okay. Got it. Woo! Almost didn't. Okay, get that health back. Oh, you're Kartos. Who might you be? Name's Kartos. Let me guess, the god of ore. I've no idea what y'all blabbering about, miss. My job's to ride rails of them grand tomes and bring back gold. Though I've not seen much treasure in a long time. Nobody cares for us minecart fellas no more. Sorry, what did you say? I wasn't paying attention. We're searching for Pages. Do you think we'll find any on your tracks? You'll find plenty when y'all inside me, boy. There's gold in them there mine shafts. Say, how's about y'all critters be my partner on a ride? Sure. Go on then. It looks warmer in there anyway. Great. Jump in the back and let's go. If it's the Pagie you're after, you're gonna need to find 100 gems before y'all reach the end. Do you need to know the controls, critters? No. This ain't your first rodeo. You'll jump inside and let's go for a ride. Ah. Ah, come on. I pressed down, but okay. I ain't gonna get this one. Nah. Nope. We were close, but no. Yeah, let's try again. Alright, let's try again. Let's get this going. Oh. Woo! Shoot, man. Shoot, dang it. Oh, I got a dash in the air. That one. Oh. No. Oh, I did it. I barely did it, but I did it. All right. There's a Pagie. Hooey, what a ride. Of course, riding the tracks was even more exciting back in the good old days, but I'll take what I can get. Y'all don't know how lucky you is with these checkpoints and speed bursts. You see, in my day... yeah, very interesting, Kartos, but we better run. Lots of stuff to do. And things to collect. Thank goodness that's over. I was going to die. I was about to die of boredom. Alright, so we got a Pagie for that. Now, these... I figured... Oh, no, that's just for wind. Okay. Hmm. Can we... No, go down. Get the author, please. Okay, we got it. We got 2 authors, right? 2 authors? Or was it? Or was that the third? No, that was the second. Okay. Okay, we made it. There's our key. Okay. I don't like that I lost oxygen while I was waiting on this. Please tell me this is an area that I can breathe in. Okay. Can we... Oh, we can't. Okay. I don't think I have the right power for this area. I can't be good. Okay, I'm gonna stop worrying about the stuff here in the water, because I don't think there's a lot of stuff we can do in the water right now. We got plenty of stuff we can do on land, though. Like that, for example. Alright, made it. Bunk. Oh, shoot. Going up. No! Okay. Let's just try that again. Actually, I think I'm... Oh, well, that just nail and coffin there. We'll try, but... Oh, yeah. I'm not making that. Alright. One mess up was fine, but 2 of them just that was it. Why did I do that? Did the same thing I did last time. Go up. Okay. This'll do it. Yeah, there we go. That's better. That's much better. Alright, grab. Alright, let's go check out over here. Because I think we also got, like, up... Yeah, we've got up there that we can check out. Give me that quill. Okay. I need... Essentially, I need a fire flower. Oh, that's right. Okay. Oh, so close. All that was left is the top. Oh, man. Feels bad. That's okay. We'll go grab another one. No! No, come on. Oh, we got it just in time. Perfect. About time. I was expecting Capital B to come home from the shops at any moment. Here you are, then. Take your reward and clear off. Useless sculptors. Thanks, Planker, but we're not... Enough talk. Clear off. Oh, now that we have the glide, technically we can go back to the other... the Tribal Stack Tropics, and we can go get... another Pagie from Planker. Nope, that didn't do anything there. I thought maybe it would, but it didn't. What is this? Something slippery. Oh, the sticky is what I need there. Okay. Well, I'll grab the Pagie and then we'll head back up. I am relatively certain that I could make it up here with that fire, fruit, plant, seed thing. Because I'm pretty sure that's why I need to thaw out that one item. The ghost author. Is there another one over here? Ooh. Come on, come on, come on. Made it. Oh, the molecule. All right, cool. Well, let's try. I need my stamina stuff back, but... Come on, let's go. Go, 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 go. Oh, no, that's 100% grenade. Okay. That's going to be a tough one to get. I still feel like the fire should be able to burn that. Maybe it can. Maybe I just wasn't waiting long enough for it. Oh. Okay. Game, come on, man. That fall ruined everything, man. Alright. How do I get in there? Come on. Come on. I hit it with grenades. Nothing happened. Except for the fact that he ate it. What is the trick here? You know what? Not worth my time. Okay. Not important. Okay, we got it. Okay, there's more sticky over there. I'm still not entirely sure. Because I know I can break those piles of snow. I just don't know how. That wasn't it. Hmm. There's got to be another way to get that. Okay, whatever. Again, I'll just drop it for now. If it's something I need a skill for from later, then I'll just come back. Or I'll remember it, one of the two. Come on. Come on. Up we go. There we go. Ah! Right, up we go. Have to get the other two on another trip up or even the trip down. One of the two. I don't know. I still like this play on the whole ice key from Banjo. Okay, we're in the isometric palace now. Okay, let's go this way. I could have gone the other way, but I wanted to go this way. See what's over here. Oh. That's what's over here. Ooh. Okay, I made it. We're fine. We're fine. What's that say? Make your home accessible with Patrick Early's stairs and lifts. No bridge is too far. Okay. I think I can get this. Give. I did it. I didn't need to worry about that at all. Oh. I see you've done well to get this far. Haha. We've had enough puns for one game, thanks. Open your cage and prepare to be collected. Not snow fast. A Pagie like myself isn't so easily collected. To be deemed worthy, you'll have to pass my mega quiz. Alright, but your fake tan's no way near as good enough to be a quiz host. Give 3 correct answers in a row and I'll open the cagey. Are you in it to win it? Yeah, let's try. All the way from Shipwreck Creek. Lovely green space around there. Which of the followings are not in this room? Oh, jeez. Trouser shorts. That's definitely not in this room. Take the number of pipes and multiply them by the number of events. What? Why not? Nope. What color are the pipes in this room? Red? Okay. I guessed. I guessed. Oh my god. I'm so good at games. I'm such a good gamer. So good at games. I'm just that good. Isn't there a... There is. I thought there was one up there. Maybe the audio's throwing me off. Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah. I don't need your tonics, lady. Okay, so now we go this way. Hmm. I just noticed the pattern on the ground. Alright, here we go. Push. That way, this way. Yep, yep, yep. Oh. Boiler's not on. There's no heat. There's no heat in this palace. Everything is bad. We're all doomed. Oh god. Ah. Whee! There's my platform. That's my horse. Grenades. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're making good time here. I'm amazed that if this is acid that it hasn't eaten away at the platform yet. Okay. Down we go. I hear a Pagie. There is indeed a Pagie here. Okay. And then there's a path back. But also... where does this lead? Ah, okay, yeah, it leads directly to the beginning, so we don't have to do that ever again. Perfect. Okay, and we made it. Thank you, Laylee. You've been a tremendous help lately. Back to the middle. No, no. Come on, how many of these do I have to do? No, 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 no. There we go. Come on. Okay. 2 laps. That's what we had to do. 2 laps around that part of the room. Why is it so stressful? Okay. Can I? Oh, I can. Okay, cool. Whew. Okay. Can't go here. You know, it's interesting to be for being a chameleon. You would think I'd just be able to innately disappear, or blend in, I should say, not disappear. Okay. It's in the next area. Okay, I think we need another skill before we can continue in here. So... can I? No. I'll just see if I could mess around and try and get up there. Oh, there's another path. Okay. What's over here then? That's right. I forgot there's only... I think I can make it by walking the rest of the way. Actually, never mind. I don't need to. Up, up. Oh. Okay, we did it. We're good. We're good. All good. Ah. That'll do it. That'll do it. I feel like... Oh, right. Okay. Hang on. Up. Lowers the gate. Okay. Ah! Just set the whole thing on fire. Just gave myself a wall to try and get through. Okay. Oh, well, that's no good. So good at this. Alright, cool. Ah! Okay. Oh, the furnace. Bernie! Oh, hello. We don't get visitors down here very often. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna switch. I gotta sit up. We don't get visitors down here very often. My name is Bernie, and I'm in charge of heating in this place. We've not been doing a very good job. It's freezing. Yes, I like to keep the energy bill down, but it's never been this cold before. Any chance you could warm the place up, Bernie? There's no way I'll be able to spark a flame in this temperature. My innards are frozen solid. Let's take a look. We've gotten quite good at problem solving. Go on then, but don't touch anything. I have a very sensitive stomach. And this is what we do. Take that. Step in. Yes, hello, friend. Who dares enter the overly cramped lair of the mighty breeze block? Can't you see this boiler is occupied? Hello there. We're just, the, dentist. Here to check the health of Bernie's molars. Yep, all seems to be in order here. Nonsense, you're here to thaw me out and evict my damp, puddly remains out of this boiler and onto the streets, aren't you? Pretty much, yeah. Then I will deliver you a frosty end before you get the chance. Come on. Light, please. Light, please. Ah. Oh, I see. It's... Ow. We're a right pain in the icicles, huh? Oh god. Hmm. Ah. Oh. Oh man. That was I was so focused on that. I'm sorry for not saying anything. I'm back, bitch. Let's go. Yeah, it's just the same dialogue, so. Ow. Ah. Okay, we're already up to 3. Gotta be very careful. Yeah, there's 4. Oh, come on. Okay, I think we got it this time. Ah! My guy. There we go. I knew I should have locked the boiler door. Okay. What a sad end to my 48-hour reign of terror frosting up this boiler. Tell my family I went out doing what I loved, firing projectiles in an interspecies buddy duo. Okay. Wow, you're on a Pagie rampage. If you're looking for more challenges, remember to expand the Grand Tomes to make their worlds even bigger. Okay. Okay, so in order to get back in there, yeah. So now we can get that other Pagie. Okay, don't talk to him, just go. All right, go this way. Hey, I got the quills I wanted. I'm just trying to get the quills. That way I never have to come get them again. Okay, so I gotta hop across the top ones then. No, 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 no. Or I can just do this. That works better. Use the level to your best, to the best of your ability. I bet you that just leads back to there. Yep. Okay, so I got a Pagie from inside of the boiler's stomach. Okay. Oh, there's another Pagie. This is great. I'm just getting Pagie like nobody's business. We got what, 19 now? 20? 20. Awesome. Okay. No! Alright, try that one again. Beto, Beto, Beto. Alright. Alright, let's get out of this area, and we can start looking at some of the other areas now, because they're... all the thermal vents are open. Nothing special about this room, I don't think. At least I didn't see anything. Ah. I need to start rolling immediately. Got it. All right. Okay, so this is another Rextro area. Sense a trap. We should choose wisely. Gee, I wonder which one's the real one. I think it's this one. The only one spinning in the opposite direction. I think it's that one. Hold on, I thought your work patch wasn't in the was in the other world. Money Titan Rextro household. This is second evening shift. Sorry to hear that, Rextro. I didn't know your old game characters. I didn't know you old game characters could multitask. Are you ready to try next arcade game? Did you bring Playcoin? We've got your silly coin, Polygon boy. Oh good, please approach arcade and press A. Okay. Ooh. Gosh, sorry. Somehow I walked out of the room. Okay, we're going back in here. We're gonna do the minigame. Glaciator. Okay. Is this like a whole play on Don't Break the Ice? Alright, A to jump, X to spin attack, A and X to jump attack. 2 minutes. Grab quills, grab power-ups, hit things, get the high score. That's simple enough. Simple enough. Grab the silver one. Oh, well, there's that. Excuse me. Okay, 2 gold. All those silvers. Alright, grab these. No! Give me those back. Alright, cool. We can get them all if we want to. Okay. Oh, how do we do? Game is won. Did friends have fun? It's alright. You're not gonna ask us to submit a 5-star review, are you? Oh no, Retro bribed important reviewers long ago. Okay. Okay, now I gotta beat the high score in order to get it. So let's see. What's the high score? I didn't actually look last time. 1400. Okay, I think I did that. Maybe. God. I know it's supposed to be difficult, but like ice is awful for games like this. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, God. Give me all of it, please. Oh, yeah, we're almost to 1,400. Oh, God. Haha, you're on the other side. Maybe you should just try and be a better enemy. You know? Okay. 2,230, not bad. Better than 1,400. 2,230. You. Didn't even use cheat codes. A cheat what? Please, friends, take reward. Oh, gosh. Do friends want to play again? No, I didn't want to play. I don't know why I did that. There we go. That's what I get for mashing buttons. Alright, we're done here. We no longer have to come here. Oh, God. I did it. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. Okay. There's that one. There's a lot of Pages in this castle. Okay. Can't go that way. Hmm. I know he said the ability was off the books in the archives. And even though we didn't see him, I'm starting to wonder where he's at on view totals. Ivory Towers. Yep, yep. 15 out of 25. Not bad. Not bad. Somehow we found barely any of the authors. Oh, whoops. Hang on. Hang on, hang on. I want to get that one that's trapped in an ice cube over here. Wait a minute. What's this? Oh! We got another health. We got another health. Okay, so that's that in this world. So we don't have to worry about that anymore either. Don't have to worry about looking for those. Man, we're just finding everything now, aren't we? Okay. Up. Oh, it's not all the way. It's like, why isn't it letting me push it? That'd be why. No, not that way. And there's our Pagie. So that's what, 17 from this world now? 16. Oh. Stop it, Ron. Okay. I think that's it from the castle that we can do for now. I think there's like 1 or 2 things that we have to come back for. Woo. It was a bit janky. Okay. Don't have to get that one anymore. All right. The next question is, can the heat... Oh, Yuna, hi! This is Yooka-Laylee. It was inspired and developed by the same people who made Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong 64. Okay, there's one of the ghost authors. It's good to see you again, though. How you doing? Okay. Alright, we got 2 more ghost authors that we need. But I'm thinking we're gonna have to come back. Okay, let's return to the hub. Well, just so you're aware, starting with this series, if doing a lot better than you were last week, so that's good to hear. Just for the record, for anybody who can't seem to catch the streams, all the streams will be posted 24 hours after the stream has been live over on the YouTube channel, which will pop up down in the corner over here. So if you don't manage to catch the stream, just check there, and usually you'll see it now. So yeah. So matter of fact, yesterday's stream will be up at probably 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, you know, you've been busy too, I imagine. Yeah. Yeah. So, like, I had a very serious discussion with my girlfriend about how, like, I need to get back into streaming because I've been putting it off. So, you know, it's definitely become a mild issue that I haven't been streaming. No, no, no. Okay, there. No! Up. No, not like that. Come on. But yeah. Life, yeah. It do be happening. It for sure be happening. I don't know where I'm going, for the record. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going. No! Okay. Okay. That's definitely the right way to go, I believe. Maybe for at least a secret. Oh, God. No, so on my head is a bat. That is Laylee. Yeah, I understood. So Yuka is the chameleon and Laylee is the bat. Laylee likes to break the fourth wall a lot. No. There we go. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go. I'm just kind of going. I've kind of played this before to a degree, but I'm essentially caught up with myself already. So anything past this point's kind of new. I have golf playing with another corporation. Yeah, another corporate henchman. So this guy that keeps talking, his name is Capital B for boss. He has stolen all of the books in the world so that they're the only people that can produce them to make profit. Our book, which is the one book, is what it's called. He's a B. He's a bitch. Yeah, he's a capital bitch. Our book got stolen, which we're collecting items known as pages, which are golden pages of this book. And supposedly, when we collect them all, we can control certain things and even the world because it's that powerful. I'm not sure how we came into possession of this, but we did. So here we are. I think it was Laylee had gone and cleaned out a pirate ship and found the book and was like, "Oh, this is kind of neat. This is mine now." Okay. Yeah, so intimidating. Okay, so now I'm actually here because I'm gonna go ahead and collect some items that we couldn't collect before. Oh, I see a quill up there that I missed. You. Oh yeah, it's super bright and colorful, and it's absolutely fantastic. Like I said, it's 100% the spiritual successor to Donkey Kong 64 and Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah. Okay. I think I gotta go here. Okay, and then from here, I gotta go over here. From here. Okay. Hold on. Nope. I gotta remember how to do this. That's what I'm after right there. Alright, alright. No, game! Why'd you make me keep walking? I stopped! Alright, there we go. There we go. I got it. Is that last week's TV guide? I may need that. No. No, you can't have it. You can't have it, Planker. No. Bad. Okay. Okay, so there's a couple of these. Oop. Woo! Wait, what? Oh, okay. It's because it's already completed. It's just kind of there. Alright. There's a flower there that I can talk to that I don't think I've talked to yet. I don't have any invisibility to get up there. There is always the race. Alright, you. Can I dry up? No, I can't. Okay. Oh, this game is something else. Every time. That kills me. Bum ba dum bum 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 bum. Okay. There is a Pagie here somewhere. I can hear it. I think this is another race? I think there's like 3 races. Track is too wet. If you see my uncle, could you dry him out for me? Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, so there are several races with Nimble in this world specifically. One of them is on dry land, and I guess the other one is on ice, which is a pain in the butt because you slide everywhere. Ah! Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to walk down this time. I can't just jump down. Not recently, more like before the move. I've been doing some like setting tweaks and stuff like that with this one, so. Okay. All right. Coloring. Pictures look good. Oh, well, that's good. Good to know. Because I worry about that a little bit. Okay, 1 lap. First through all gates wins. Let's go. Go, 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 go. No! Oh, you... freaking cumulonimbus cloud, get back here! Come back here! Ah! I tried this yesterday, too. Didn't go very well. No, she's already around to that corner. Nope, there it is. Oh, closer than yesterday, honestly. All right, let's do it again. This is for another Pagie. Good try, though. Yeah, again, that was probably the best try that I've had on this one. Go, go, go. Ah! Oh, that's not good. Oh, come on, please. Okay, good, good, good. Go, go, go. Oh, Nimble, get off my butt, please. No, go, go, go. Okay. Oh, I'm stressed. Ooh. I gotta make this turn just right. Oh, I made it. Oh, I did it. Okay. We won this one. Whew. I love the emotes for that you chose. That's great. It's fantastic, really. Paper-based gold medal. Just shits out the Pagie. Hold on. How many? Okay, Tribal Stack Tropics. We are missing a health upgrade, a power upgrade, 6 pages, and 32 golden quills? I hate that I don't know where any of those are. Hold on. We'll find out real quick, though. Thankfully, it auto-saves, for the most part. I apologize for the consistent noise, but this is kind of funny. Hey, beautiful, don't tell that lizard and bat, but there's a special move hit extender hidden at the top of the monument in the expanded version of this world. Okay, I've already unlocked it then. The trigger to revealing the secret is quite well hidden, though. Don't think you'll ever spot it. Okay. So both of them are up there. Or both of the upgrades are up there. Let's talk to this one. I think this is the last one. At least the last one I've seen. Don't tell that lizard and bat, but I heard from the grapevine there's a ghost hidden underneath the entrance to this world. Oh, that's for the... And that grapevine is a trustworthy guy. Yeah, that's the ghost rider. I've already got it. The eyes, yeah. This game is something else. They put a lot of heart into this. Yes, I am. Okay, so I know for a fact that there is one Pagie that I cannot get. And that is because I do not have a certain upgrade, which I am guessing is invisibility because I haven't unlocked it even in my base, like the original game that or file that I had. I went back to check it just to see what was there, but oh, how did I miss this entirely? Ah. All right. Oh, there's our health upgrade. All right. Oh, we got our health upgrade. Perfect. That's half the problem solved. Okay, what's in here? Oh. There's one up there. Hold on. Hey! Kartos is his name, which I think is hilarious. Howdy again, critters. How about y'all be my partner on this? I think I already got this one. Just like the old days. If y'all want to rustle yourselves a Pagie, you'll be needing to collect 60 gems on my track before y'all reach the end. Do you need to know the controls, critters? No. This ain't your first rodeo. Y'all jump inside and let's go for a ride. Speaking my first language, that's the problem. Up. Ow. Woo. You said 60, right? Oh, we're at 40 already. Done. Oh, we got all of those. Woo. Ah. 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 Oh, I tried. Oh. There are so many characters in this game that sound like the ah meme. Alright. I think your dusty old cart is giving me a rash. Alright, so that's another Pagie for me. I need this. Alright. What do I need to unlock you? Never thought to try. I'll give it a go. This is why the title, is just reach in and take the Pagie. The bars are wide enough I could just reach in, grab the page, turn it, and pull it out of the cage. Try going sideways, you daft collectible. Nope, it's impossible. You completed the Windy Challenge, though, so this cagey is scheduled to open any second now. Cartoon logic is funny. Going up. I like the little platforms. When it's going down, it has a frowny face, and when it goes up, it has a smiley face. Okay, what's up here? We are all the way at the top. Oh, God. Oh, hi there, friend. Do we know you? Hello, I'm Blastui. Perhaps you've met my brother Blasto. He's got a big mouth, loves a cannonball for tea. Anyway, since you're passing through, perhaps you can do me a favor? See, my 4 friends over there? Mm-hmm. Today's their birthday. I was hoping you'd help me deliver my presents. They don't look very friendly. I think one of them just blew a raspberry at you. Oh no, we're all the best of mates. Please, give me a little pat on the back so I can deliver these wonderful gifts. Sure. Sure, Blastui. We'll help you out. Excellent. Just give me a little pat on the back so I can deliver my friends some pleasure. So I just... Blam! Right in his idiot face. Oh, I missed. Got him. Blam! That's the last time they mock me. Oh, let's get out of here, Yooka. This guy's a right loose cannon. Happy birthday, you fools. Okay. Have a relaxing day. Oh, jeez. There's the extra power up here. All right. Okay, so there's that. How many do? Yeah, yeah. Okay, we got 3 more and 20 more golden quills. So where are those at? Did I skip out on a bunch of them somewhere? I feel like I might have. Oh, I tried to hover on that, but I didn't get it. Okay, well. Okay, we gotta look around for some things. Graceful. Right? I know where one of the Pages is, but the problem being that it's right there. Who, Nimbo? Yeah, I guess he is kind of cute. He's a little weird, though. Okay. I think I'm gonna try something here. Hang on. First dangerous thing. I'm trying something. The question is can I make it back down to the bottom before it wears out? Get up, come on. Nope. That wasn't very graceful of me. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No. Oh. There's got to be a way to get that. Okay, nothing in here. Nope, nothing up here either. Okay. Is there some the other way? There's got to be something around here. Okay, what's in here? Oh. Yeah, there's that Pagie that I was talking about I need some kind of ability for. Okay. I'm about to vote to quit this world and go to the next one again. Or try to go to the third one, actually, and see if there's any upgrades that... What's his face? Trouser. Nope. I don't know. Okay. Yes, I'm sure. I don't know the answer to this one. I'm not going to pretend like I do. All right. Up. Okay. Moving on to the next thing. Honestly, I could probably get to Worlds 3 and 4, no problem. With the amount of pages that we've got. There he is! Okay. What are you doing slumped in a shady corner? I've got another free maneuver for you, but this one needs to stay off the books, pal. This next move was taught to me by a wise grandmaster. Wow, that sounds impressive. This ancient buddy bubble technique, you can wield the powers of the ocean and walk underwater. Finally, something useful. How do we master these powers, worm boy? First, take a deep breath, then, while underwater, push RT to release it. Your gulp as a piping hot water bubble. Is there a more, socially acceptable method for walking underwater, Chowser? Not for free, there isn't. Why don't you try out your new move in that aquarium over there? And this is how we get to the third world. I think we had to trigger the second world to get here. To have him move over here. There's our answer. That's the move we need. Well, it might not be worth it to go just get that one. Because if there's another one that... the invisibility one, I feel... But I'm guessing it is. I might as well just wait until I have both before I return. Ah. Hmm. Ah. No, go away. Rude. Go away. Go away. You need 7 of his pages to unlock the Moody Maze Marsh. Okay. Why doesn't that surprise me that that's the 3rd level? Oh, but I'm not stopping there, folks. 8 pages, huh? I'm not stopping there, folks. You ready for this? Time to make the book bigger. It's a large print. It's a super large print now. Okay. I can't really go anywhere else until I go in here and find Trouser. So that's the next goal. It's to find Trouser. I'll check all that later. All right. Lizard used Pages to make world even more amazing. More challenges await. Welcome to Moody something Marsh. Mm-hmm. Yes. That's all good. That's all good. Come on. Hold up. Nope, nothing. Okay. Pop. The bubble makes this so much easier. Ow. Pop. Ouch. Hmm. Okay. All right. Where's this stupid snake? I only need to find him when he's useful to me. Where is he? I thought he was down there. Oh. Come here. Those things ring. Oh, don't like that. Why is there a shopping cart with eyes? Sup, lizard man? Wally's the name. Are you the owner of this mushroom patch? Hi, Wally. It's not ours. We're in the Pagie business ourselves. Sweet. Keep that way. This level's my turf. I grow the tasty shrooms around here from my farmer's market. I love farmer's markets. The high prices keep the riffraff out. Too right. Say, could you two help me out destroying the shroom patch? I totally own it, and I'm sure I saw some gold bling inside one of them. One of them shrooms. Gold bling sounds good to us. Anything to silence that annoying voice. Sweet. Remember, unless they're all gone, they'll keep growing back. There must be a way to knock them all down at once. Oh, I don't have that ability yet. What's over here? Oh. And that's sinking. Great. Okay. Ow. Okay. Ow. Okay, forget that noise. Can I get up there from here? I can. That wasn't that hard. Okay. Where is Trousers? Gotta be here somewhere. Where's that stupid snake? Getting real tired of looking for him. But I need him. Well, there's Bones. Dr. Bones. I didn't expect to see other adventurers way out here. Actually, you might be able to help me obtain my next artifact. Treasure hunting? From the looks of you, I don't think your heart's in it. There's a valuable gem hidden inside that cave. However, it's behind thick glass, and a modest explorer like me has no chance of breaking. Do you think you could retrieve the gem for me? In exchange, I'm sure I can source one of those golden pages that are all the rage these days. All right, lazy bones. We'll help you. We'll find your gem. Oh, wonderful. Please, bring the treasure straight to me once you've recovered it. No. I'm going this way. Hate that. Oh, stop that. My guy. Is there a... Oh, there is. Okay. There. Hated that. Nice. New tonic. Okay. I'll have to find some way back and get all those. Okay. An awful platforming course? Okay. Ow. Come on, man. How do I do this? Dude, how do I do this? Nope. Okay. I'm not dealing with this yet. Not gonna deal with this yet. There's gotta be a trick somewhere to it, and I don't feel like looking for it right now. Here we go again. I'll get the other ones later. I'm still on a mission to find Trouser. I feel like I've passed him. I've got the sinking suspicion that I passed up Trouser. What, Blanker? What? It's the gardeners. Okay. Sure. No, come on. Can I at least get one? Please? Oh, gosh. I don't even know where the next one is. Oh, it's all the way back here. Okay, I don't have to do both of them. I just have to do one this time. Okay, that's not too terrible. So it's got to go up and over. Up this way. Oh, you... Oh, okay, I can break the mushrooms. Cool. Okay, I'm not going to get it in this... Yeah, I'm not going to get it in this one, but we do know that we can break the mushrooms. Yeah, there's that one. Can you fall? Ah, come on. No. No. Oh, this is awful. No, come on. Oh, done. Okay. Whew. Oh, all right, Planker. Yeah, give me my Pagie. What? Oh. Oh, there's more. Oh, God. What kind of bullshit? No, come on. Why are you rolling backwards? No. Just gotta get my frustration out real quick. No, come on! Go! Why is this thing so terrible? Well, it didn't break. God, this is bad. Nope, that didn't work. No, game, come on. Please. All right, one more try, and then if it doesn't work, I'm moving on. No. Go that way. It's not hard. You roll in the direction I'm looking. No. You know what? You did what I asked. I can't be mad. Why Yooka doesn't pick it up, I don't know, but you know what? That's fine. What is logic in this crazy world where we're a chameleon with a bat on our head? Who breaks the fourth wall? Go. No. No. Go. Please. No. Oh, God. Motherfucker. I'm getting distressed. I said one more time, and here I am 2 more times in. Go. Why? No. Why? Huh? No, come on. Okay. I'm going through the 5 stages of grief. I'm already in bartering. There we go. Planker, you're the worst. Okay, anyway. Moving on. Alright. We literally only came here to find a stupid snake. I don't want any of your tonics. I just want the snake. Where's the snake? Where's this bastard? Come on. There we go. All right, Kartos, I'm sorry. Not today. Where is the snake? Where is Trouser? Where is he? Where is he? Oh, okay. I just wandered into a boss fight. The Trev the Tentacle. I hate it. Oh, God. All right. Yeah, this is definitely ew. Okay. Oh, this is awful. Music's good, though. Try to squash him, I'm gonna use your remains to stir me brew. Stay away from me. Okay, one way. Back the other. Back the other. Back the other. And I think... Oh. Come on, have at it. Oh, God. Stay away from me. Door should open. All right. Okay, you went that way. That way. That way. That way. Come on. Okay, ow. Oh, why does he hurt so bad? Oh, I didn't hit him the third time. That was the problem. That was a weird email to see. From Twitch. Oh, God. Oh, God! Come on, be the last one. Okay, it was. Oh, Jesus. Flippin' heck! You've given me a right seeing to. Ugh. With that many eyes, you'd have thought he'd have seen that coming. Oh, God. The jokes! Go on, then. Take the tea cozy. It's tis dog house for me when Mrs. get home. Oh, it's the dog house for me when the Mrs. gets home. Defeat the World 3 boss. Creep from the deep. Nice! Well done. Thank you. Yeah. That was stressful. Pardon, friend. I need you to drop a butterfly for me. Thank you. Congrats. Thank you. Now, again, I ask, where's the fucking snake? I'm getting tired of this goose chase. Or snake hunt. I don't know. At this point, I don't know. It's literally just for the... Oh, God. Unplanned boss battles are great. Yeah, kinda. Oops, I wandered into the boss arena. Me in every Dark Souls game ever. I accidentally wandered into the boss arena, and I didn't know it was here. There's Rextro. I don't care about Rextro. I just want the snake. Come on. I swear I've had to have passed him at some point. That's what it's starting to feel like. I think I actually did pass him at some point. Time to go back. Where's this stupid fucking snake? Oh. Nice. A Pagie that I can't get. Nope. Okay. Not here. Let's play a game of Frogger. You need that Lizard Lash move to help me. Sorry, fella. Oh, I don't have Lizard Lash yet. Because I can't find the freaking... I'll come and get these later. Man, why is this snake so elusive? Nope. Fuck the Pagie. I'm out looking for this guy. Come on. Oh. Where's he at? There he is. Got a Ghost Rider. Okay. Well, there's my path back to the entrance. That's grand and all. Is he back here? Hmm. Oh, he creepy though. Having fun? He's right there. He's right here. We passed him like 20 minutes ago. I'm done with this game, man. Oh, jeez. Can it, Serpent? Just tell me what moves you have. Simply press LT or left trigger and Y. And Lizard Lash. Okay. It's not invisibility, but it's a mobility skill. Yep. Special grapple points and press B. Okay. All right. No, go away. No, go away. No, Trouser, go away. Trouser, go away. I'm leaving. I'm out. Bye. I'm leaving this level. I'm not coming back for a little bit. I've got other things I gotta do. Jesus. Okay. Oh, 4 and 5 are over here. Ugh. Want to talk about brain rot? Wandering around that level is... Oh. Oh, gee, I'm gonna fail this one. Alright, new multiple choice quiz. It's usually there are 10 questions, only 3 lives. Let's go. He's hiding behind the curtain. The character. Who is it? I know. Dolly? Nope. Snowplow. And I get to move 2 spaces because I was fast about that one. How many hexagons are on the board? Oh god. I don't 10, I guess. Oh, on the board. Glitter Gaze Glacier's useless snowmen. How many are there? 2, 4, 7? Nope. They want you to pay attention to all the things in the different levels. She needs you to save on Glitter Glaze Glacier. Or pot. Oh gosh. The picture. Where was it taken? I know exactly where that's at. Under the palace. Yeah, for real. And I think I got that one fast. Yep. Okay. What business does she own? Oh, God. Farmer's market stall. Ha! Oh, I need to get one more right. Trousers mushroom shelter. What color is it? It's red. It's red. No? What? I could have sworn it was red. All right. Yes, I want to try again. We were right there. Who is it? I think this is Ollie. Oh, I chose Wally. Not even looking at the names. I thought they were in the same order. Pages, how many do you have in total? No idea. Three. You have 3 wheels. Ooh. I can't mess up. Where was it taken? Okay, that's the igloos. Igloo Village. Yeah, glitter glaze, that's her pot. Okay. Five. Okay, there's 5 of them. I have one more question I have to get right if I can answer it fast enough. Where was it taken? Okay, yeah, it's under the water. Under the palace. Oh. Okay. Be my final quiz. Brain gober. Okay. I have not been this way. Ah! There you are. Okay, what is it? Ah, there it is. Art of Stealth. Okay, cool. Haha. Okay, so let's get back over to where we were. That's the one that we needed. Okay. So, realistically speaking, we can finish the first level, finally. Technically, we could finish the outside, too. Kinda. I kind of want to do that, too. Before we call it quits for the day. Let's go ahead and head outside. Oof. This has been a long stream. Ugh. I have done quite a bit. Move out of the way, nerds. Out of the way. Out of my way. I made it up here just in time. Okay, Pagie out here. Okay. All right, then come up to you and pop. Okay. Knew that was that yellow newspaper. Grab that and pop it in the recycling, would you? I love the name of this ship. It's batship crazy. Gosh. Okay, I got everything out here, I'm pretty sure. I can 85% guarantee that we got everything from out here. And I'll take that 85% guarantee. Hmm. Okay. Away we go. Now, technically, I could probably get away with finishing the game after I collect a certain amount. I don't know. Maybe I want to finish the game. We'll see. Out of my way. What, this place? Oh, yeah. There we go. Mm-hmm. Okay. I see the Pagie. Oh. Oh, I missed him. Oh, is there a... Hold on, I think there's a trick to this. Ah. Oh! No, bubbles are gonna slow down. Come on, come on. No, come on. Game. Game. Let me... Alright, get the Pagie. Okay. I think... Is there a way to turn it back on? No? I was hoping there was. Okay, so we got a bunch of the... I'm gonna go up. Okay, we got everything here. Totals for here. What are we looking at? Not Ivory Tower. Alright, 23 and 185. So that leaves us with 15 and 2. Is there a Pagie for collecting all the other Pagies? Maybe? Or a Pagie for collecting all the gold quills? Hmm. I need grenades for this. Okay. I haven't been in here either. This is all new to me. It's all coming together. Ah. Ah. Means I'm probably gonna need this. Come on. Come on. Ah! Woo! Okay. Alright, 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 alright. Alright, so before we go any further. Dang. We're getting closer. Oh, come on. Oh. Okay. All right, there we go. And there's the Pagie. Hold on. How close are we? We're 7 away and 1 away. Where are the last 7, though? Oh. Now we got a nook and cranny this game because we got to find them all. I'm gonna find them all. That's the goal. I want to believe that they are over there. I really do. It figures of all the things that I'd be missing, it's the quills. Okay, there's nothing down that way. Yeah, I distinctly remember there not being any over here. Yeah. Okay. Oof. Hmm. There's 2. Oh. Okay, mysterious pirate treasure. What? 5 left. Where would those last 5 be? Hmm. Hmm. Nope. I thought maybe. Didn't I say at one point I saw some that I hadn't collected and somehow I had missed? Or did I get those? No, I got those because they were up there. Yeah, where are they at, though? Hmm. Rextro, have you seen any golden quills on your island? Yeah, this is turning into a very fun hunt. Hmm. Definitely not out here. I know they're not down there. Did I miss some on Shovel Knight's tower? I don't think I did. We can check. I want to find these last 7 or last 5. All the scavenger hunt things, yeah. Can I walk into these? Oh, I can't. Oh! Oh! Leads me to nowhere. Okay. Never mind. Hmm. Maybe? I feel like this is something. Claire, do you have any hints? Nope. Okay, you're useless. Shovel Knight, my buddy old pal. Come on. Tell me there's some over here. There are some over here. Shovel Knight, you've been holding out on me, bud. What's so sad? That I told an NPC that they were useless to me? I'm only telling them the truth. Nailed it. Ah. Hmm. Is there anything around here? Okay, so we're down to what? 4? Yeah, 4. Oh, God. All right, Shovel. You've helped me out. You held out on me, but it was worth it. Thank you. Hmm. Weird thought, but maybe I missed one back here? No? All right. Okay. There's nothing up there. Shit. Where would they be? Could they be in here? I don't think they would be. No. Nope, not here. Oh, hi, Bubba. Did you wake up from your nap? Hello. Was it a good nap? Hmm? Oh, big dretch. Yes, hello, Bubba. Yes, I feel your nose on the back of my hand. Yes. Hello. Okay. Well, it's not here. There's 4 left. I almost wonder if it's up here. Oh, God. Because I even collected all the ones over there just to make sure I didn't have to. There aren't any here. Hmm. Where are they? Come on, game. Up. Hmm. No, hold on. No, no, no. Could it have been here? I don't think so, but I guess there's always that possibility. No. Hmm. I know, I hear you, Bubba. Yeah, I hear you. Oh. Don't kick that at me. That's rude. For the record, my dog is throwing around a pig's ear. He just shoved it into my foot. Umbra. Yeah, I can hear you. That's enough, Bubba. Ah. Why your nose so cold, dog? Why is your nose so cold? It's a good thing, though. Where are these last few things? Are they out here? Nope. Not there. Perhaps in here? Okay. They aren't here. Okay. Maybe they're up top. I didn't really look super hard here. Maybe they're up here. Hmm. Or maybe not. Let's find out. Come on. Where are you? Nope, not in here. Alright, well. That's gonna be all of them. Oh, nope. Okay. Only 3. That's kind of funny, though. Okay, so... checking all the nooks and crannies now. Like the real nooks and crannies, the ones that I might have missed. Could I have missed some over here? Hmm. I'm relatively certain I checked over here. No. Nope. Hmm. Where could they be? There's one thing I didn't... There's one place I didn't check. Or I haven't checked, I should say. But I don't think it's down here. No, I didn't think so. Ow. Nope, nothing there. I'm coming up with a loss now. I really don't know. Thought maybe for funny ha-has they'd put it there, but they didn't. Hmm. Did I check all the tunnels down there? I'm probably only going to do this for a little bit longer, and then I'm probably going to call it. Right, explosions. Ow. Oh. There's nothing over here? No. No. Nothing? No. I'm starting to think these last four don't exist. Stop that. How do I do that? How did I do that the first time? I unlocked a new tonic? Okay. Oh, wait, hang on. Does this work? This is gonna be silly if this works. This is gonna be real silly if this works. It works. Ah. Okay. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on. Oh, nope. Okay, no. Nope. All right. Okay, well, unfortunately, I was gonna try and beat this today, but it's taking up a lot of time. So somehow we ended up back in this place. Hold on. No, I don't think it's up there. Okay, I'm done searching for now. So I think this is going to be where we end the stream. So, all right, folks. Here's the deal. We have done a lot today, and I am tired. So, I hope you all had a wonderful time with the stream. I will catch you guys next time. Have a wonderful time zone, and see you next time. Also, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, this will be going up the day after. So, good night, everybody.